So you want to shoot your first USPSA match, but you're not 100% sure on what you need to do. Stay tuned. If this is your first video, welcome to the channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today's video, like we were just trying to get into on the little intro there, is how to shoot your first USPSA match. I've been seeing a lot of questions on the internet. I've got a couple questions through the DMs here and there about wanting to shoot a match and whatnot. So we're just gonna kind of give a full overview of your first match day. So just to get this out of the way, I know some people think that they need to be a certain skill level in order to shoot their first USPSA match. No one really cares, to be honest with you. They just want you to be safe. As long as you have safe gun handling skills, that's all you're gonna need to get by your first match. You don't even need to actually be able to hit the targets. Obviously you're gonna want to, but just getting that out of the way, there's no baseline that you need to be to shoot your first match. Real quick, if you want to support the channel in any way, use the links down below. We do have a link to some merch, got some cool shirts, some hats. If you want to support the channel that way, you can use the Amazon links down below. They are affiliate links, so I do get a little bit of a kickback if you use those links. And there's also a link to Siley Optics. I do have some torture testing of those optics linked down below as well. I do have a discount code, already affordable optics, made even more affordable by using that code. If you want to support the channel by not using any of your money, hit that subscribe button. Subscriptions are free. Just watch some videos, share them, like, comment, and all that stuff. And let's get back to the video. So behind me, I do have a USPSA stage set up. All the walls and stuff are already here. I just threw up targets, so I didn't really do much. I didn't grab enough targets for this specific stage. So we'll amend that when we get to the stage brief part. But just to get to this part in the first place, we got to do a couple steps. So if you're not sure on the gear you need to shoot your first match, you could pause this video and go watch the previous video on USPSA that I put out, or you could wait till the end of this video and go check that video out. Kind of a pretty general overview of the stuff you're gonna need to shoot your first match. Once we're past that point, we're getting to, I want to shoot my first match. So one of the first things you're gonna have to do to shoot your first match is you're gonna have to go on practicescore.com and search for matches in your area. So go to the website, click matches. If you know the name of a range/club in your area, you could search that, or you could just use the map or search by state. See what's in your area. You might be lucky and have one a few minutes from your house, or you might have one an hour or two from your house. So once you find the club that is closest to you or the one that you want to shoot at, you're gonna find the USPSA match that they are putting on that you want to compete in. So after you find that match, you're actually gonna register for the match. Some clubs want you to pre-register on PracticeScore. Some really don't care. You could pre-register, or you could just show up day of and register at the range. That is gonna be dependent on the club. Your best bet is to pre-register for the match, so you're basically guaranteed a spot. As you're signing up for it, obviously name, if you have a USPSA number or not, you're gonna put that in. If this is your first match, you're probably not classified, so you could leave that as the U or unclassified. If you don't know what division you're shooting, you could just Google it really quick, or the best bet is just select open, and then at the range, you could speak to whoever's doing the registration, whoever's like signing you in, just confirm with them and they could drop you in whatever division you're competing in. Real quick for the divisions, pretty popular divisions would be like limited optics or carry optics. Limited optics is like your staccato or 2011 style gun, single action only. Carry optics would be something like say like a Glock with an optic on it, or M&P 2.0 with an optic on it. Then the other division that a lot of people fall into if they're just shooting like their carry gun would be the open division. Open is literally any gun that has porting or a compensator on it. You will be at a disadvantage competing in that in the long run with something just something like a Staccato XC, or even if you just have your carry gun ported and you're competing in that. But for your first match, it doesn't matter at all. So just shoot what you have, shoot what you are most comfortable with shooting. So the next step is match day. So plan ahead for the range. Some clubs will have first shots are at, say, 9 a.m. Some clubs will even say registration starts at this time. I would say show up a half hour before first shots minimum. Plan it like that, and you will want to show up with an empty gun. Most clubs want you to show up with the gun bagged somehow. So this is just a Savior pistol bag. This came with my range bag. Perfect for it. Empty gun in a bag. and you're good. Leave the gun bagged until you get to the safe area, which we will go over in a little bit. So when you do get to the range and you get all checked in and whatnot, let the match staff know this is your first match, first time ever competing, just so they'll probably put you on a squad with a little more experienced shooters, or even with the actual match staff themselves, just to kind of guide you through your first experience and make it a positive experience. After you're checked in, this is where you can either chat with other people or start getting your stuff on. So once again, we do not handle our gun anywhere other than the safe area. The only place we take our gun out of our bag is at the safe table, which we'll go over in a minute, or the only other place you can handle your gun is when you are the next shooter and you are told to make ready, which we will get to in a little bit. Right now is where you're gonna start gearing up. You can load your magazines if you didn't show up with loaded magazines. Most people will take this time, get their belt set up ready, and load the magazine just so they're ready for the first stage. So let's get dressed and take it from there. All right, so we're all dressed, got our belt on, got our magazines all loaded up, magazines on. If you notice that my gun's still not on because we don't touch the gun anywhere other than the safe table. This is the thing I normally do on match day, load up my mags in the back of my truck or something like that. Some people will wait till they get to the first stage to get all geared up. I like doing it ahead of time. That's your decision. So we've hung out for a little bit. It's time to start the match. Range staff will come out. Most of the time we'll make a couple announcements of things going on at the range in the coming months if they need help with certain stuff. And they will announce the squad. So this is when you're gonna listen for your name, and then they'll say this squad is starting on whatever bay. Listen for your name, find other people in that squad, go introduce yourself, and start walking over to the bay. So this happens to be my range's safety table, safety area. This, like I said, this is the only place you are going to be touching your gun. So take your gun that's in your bag, come over, step into the safety area if they have it designated like this, and now you can take your gun out. Your gun should be unloaded already. You need to dry fire it a little bit, whatever you want to do. Want to draw a couple times, you can do that. If you rack the slide, make sure you pull the trigger hammer down, put it in your holster, then you're good to go. Some ranges do not want you to have any ammunition at the safe table. Just figure out what your range wants you to do. My range doesn't care as long as you do not handle it. That is a USPSA rule. You do not handle any types of ammunition at the safety table. So leave them on your belt. Most ranges won't care, but some are sticklers about it. They want you to take all the magazines off so you have nothing there. If you're unsure which rules your range goes by, just ask the match staff. At any time other than the safe table, you could handle live ammunition. So if you ever have to reload your magazines, some people wait till they get to the first stage to load their magazines, up to you, but that's when you can load your magazines. Never load them at the safety area. All right, we're gonna do this handheld now. So you're at your first stage. They usually shuffle the names on the iPad. As long as you told them it was your first time shooting a competition, they were most likely not gonna put you first, no matter how it shuffles in the iPad. So just keep that in mind. So first thing you're gonna do after you got your gun on, all set up, obviously you want your pro ready to go and glasses, you are going to read the stage briefing. So we are going to do this one a little bit different than this because we don't have as many targets, but going to read the stage briefing off, then we are going to go do a walkthrough. So this stage briefing: toes touching start bar indicated in diagram, and we'll show you that in a second. Handgun unloaded, hammer down, holstered, wrist below belt. PCC start if you're shooting a pistol caliber carbine, unloaded, muzzle pointed downrange, support hand touching handguard. Those are your start positions. They usually will not start the timer if you are not in the correct start position, so you don't have to sweat it too much. They'll just tell you how to set everything up for that. At audible start signal, engage targets from within the shooting area. Best 3 hits on paper will score. We're gonna do best 2 hits instead. 8 USPSA targets, 6 poppers for a minimum of 22 rounds, and it's 110 points. So let's go over the scoring really quick, and then we'll just do a quick walkthrough. So the USPSA targets are the little like regular silhouette, and then they have an IPSC target, which is more like a diamond-ish shape. So your A zones are 5 points, your C zone is 3 points, and then your delta or D zone is 1 point. Gets a little more complicated when you start missing. If you miss and whatnot and you don't make up the shots, then steel targets like that guy right there is going to be 5 points. Steel must fall to get scored. Slightly more complicated when you get to a target like this that has the black on it. So this is hardcover, so this counts as nothing. So you could shoot this all you want. It doesn't count as anything, but if you don't have scores, if you don't have hits in the brown, it counts as a miss. Then there are also no shoots, but no shoots are no bueno. Those are the white targets. It's -10 for every hit you have on that. All right, it's time to do the walkthrough. And like we said, it was 8 USPSA targets, 6 poppers. This is your stage layout, so you have to shoot from within the shooting area, which is everything inside this blue there. Toes touching this red start bar right here. If you have any questions about anything on the stage, ask. Most of the time, anyone there. Usually everyone's very helpful. So start position is toes touching here. Just from this position right here, we're gonna see what we can see. So you can't shoot through walls, but there's 3 of the poppers. There's a target back behind that wall over there. You can see this target here. There is a target behind this wall. You have the steel, you could have another paper. There's one behind that in the steel, but you can't shoot from here. And then the 2 over there. Just walk both directions and see what you can see and what feels better for you. So stage planning is one of those things that can, I wouldn't say make or break your stage, but you can have a really bad stage plan. It's not the end of the world if it's not the greatest or doesn't look like the other people's. You're kind of shooting to your skill and not someone else's skill. Let's see what it looks like starting from toes touching, and then at the beep, we're actually gonna wanna go into that corner or this corner and then work our way over. So let's see what it looks like. So this is part of the walkthrough. So I'm gonna come over here, and how far into this section do you need to get that target right there? So as you see, right there, you can't get it. Right here you can. So you don't have to get all the way into the corner, but you are partially blocked by that wall. So that's up to you. You can shoot that target, all those 3 if you want. From this position, you could lean and shoot that steel back there. Then you'd have to come over here. If you see, you could hit the steel from this position also. You have this paper target right there, but when you see this paper target, you do have those 3 available. So do you want to shoot them from here? Turn this way, you have that, the steel back there. A couple steps over this way, you have paper there, which from here, if you step back, you could get the steel. From over here, you could get the steel back there. You have these 2 targets right here. You have that steel that you can get from there, or you could come over here and get the 2 paper, the steel, and a bunch of stuff. A lot of the time you'll run into targets that you could shoot from multiple positions. That's just how the stage planners build these stages. And sometimes there are targets you have to get to a specific position to shoot, like that one behind the wall over there. You do have to get to the far corner over there to get it. And that's the only spot you could shoot it. So that is a spot you have to get to shoot the targets. And then this spot in this corner, you don't have to get all the way to the corner, but you have to get far enough over where you could get that steel and the 2 paper targets on the side. So you do have a couple forced positions to shoot from, but this is where the stage planning comes in, where you kind of decide what you want to do. So I'm going to take a couple wall walkthroughs, then we will go shoot the stage. Walk it through, going to the left. So toes, and then you're going to walk through here. So if you come over here, as you see, I don't have to get all the way into the corner to get those 2 targets. I could kind of just find this little line here, get right here, get those 2 targets. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, steel, slide over a little bit, you have the other steel if you want, then paper, 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 reload into this corner, steel, 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 paper, steel. So while we are doing our walkthrough, I think I figured out which way I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna start on this side and work my way over. So your main goal at your first match should be, do not get disqualified. So one thing people do to get disqualified is break the 180. We have a clear gun right now. This is perpendicular to the walls here. This would basically be our 180. So anything you want to shoot this way, you could shoot this way, which is fine because we're not breaking that, but there is empty gun and there's no one over there. Berm goes a little further back. But once you go like that, that's breaking the 180, and that is a disqualification. So you have to keep that in mind both ways. Stages are usually set up to get rid of 180 traps. So if there was a target where you guys are right now, where I'm standing here, I could shoot at it and I would be breaking the 180. So if they wanted to have a target here, you basically need to put a barrel or a wall here. So then you have to get all the way into this corner to shoot at it. Most clubs do pay attention to things like that, so you shouldn't be too concerned about it. The main thing where you will break the 180 is on a reload. The easiest way would be for a right-handed shooter going from that end of the stage to this end of the stage on a reload. That's why I said it's usually easier for a right-handed shooter to start left to right. So a right-handed shooter, you're gonna start left side, you're gonna shoot, and then if you need to reload, it's easy to keep the gun this way, throw a new mag in it. If you are a right-handed shooter starting this way, shoot, 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 then you're gonna be running this way, and then you need to like turn your gun to throw a magazine in. It's gonna be hard to see from there, but I am a few degrees away from breaking the 180. So that is something to keep in mind in your stage plans. While we are on the topic of the 180 rule, this is something you have to keep in mind. Not every stage is gonna have this, but you will come across it. Maybe not your first match, maybe not your second, but you will eventually come across this, is when you start further up and you have to retreat with the gun in your hand. Say this was toes touching this front start bar. You have these targets here, they're not up, but the two steel, you can see these two targets. This is where you would draw, shoot whatever the hell you want, and then you need to go back. If you're not very experienced at it, this is where you would shoot, and then you could literally just back up, because like we were saying before, we want to keep this muzzle pointed down range. I could get all the way out to about there without a disqualification, breaking the 180. Same as this way. You have two different options. You could turn this way, drop the gun behind you, and run backwards. This specific stage, everything is this way, so I wouldn't want to turn this way because you can't then finish turning this way because you would break the 180. The only reason in this situation I would turn this way would be if there was a target over here that I needed to get past, and then you could post up, shoot that target. In this situation, you're gonna keep the gun pointed down range and you're just gonna turn and leave it over your shoulder pointed down. You're obviously not gonna point it at your shoulder. You're just gonna leave it pointed down that way. Technically, you could run with it this way too, because you're not breaking the 180. And in this situation, you would come around the wall and you have your target right there. The other common way to get disqualified is having your finger in the trigger guard whenever you're not shooting. So what I mean by that is if you are done shooting and you need to reload, you're not gonna keep your finger in there to slam the mag in. You shoot, finger outside the trigger guard, magazine back in the trigger guard. Same thing goes for while you're running around the stage. So you're gonna shoot, 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 finger outside the trigger guard, move, set up in your next position, shoot, finger outside the trigger guard, move. Those are the common ways to get disqualified. Don't do that. Like I said, main goal for your first match is do not get disqualified. All right, so now it's your turn to shoot. You step up to the line. You got the pre-stage jitters or first stage jitters. Everyone gets them. I kind of get them from time to time still on the first stage. It's natural. Once again, no one really cares as long as you're being safe. So don't worry if you think everyone's looking at you. Most people are loading their magazines or talking about different random stuff. Most of the people aren't staring at you. Don't worry about it. Range commands are going to be make ready, are you ready, stand by. So after you get the make ready, that's when you can pull your gun out, dry fire it, check your dot. If you need to load the magazine into the gun, that's when you're gonna do it now. This stage is an unloaded start. Then when you are ready to shoot, when you're ready to go, you're not gonna say a thing. You're just gonna assume the correct start position. This stage is wrist below belt with the toes touching the red start mark. So you're just gonna stand there. When you're finally standing still, you'll get the are you ready? This is the time, if you are not ready, say something. If you are ready, you can either say yes or just don't say anything at all. Either way, that's a yes. Then 1 to 4 seconds after that, you will get the beep. And then that's when you start blasting. So, make ready. Are you ready? Stand by. Then once you're done shooting, you're gonna hear these commands. If you're finished, unload and show clear. If clear, hammer down, holster. Range is clear. And that means you're done shooting the stage. So when you're done shooting the stage, you're gonna look around, make sure you hit all the targets, make sure the steel all fell, because sometimes if the steel doesn't fall, that counts as a miss. You're gonna drop the magazine out of your gun, then you're gonna rack the slide back, and when you rack the slide back, take note of where that round goes. If it shoots up in the air and you can catch it like a cool guy, go for it, but if it falls in front of your gun and you go to grab it and you flag your hand with your gun, you're gonna get disqualified, so you're better off just letting that round fall to the floor. Take note of where that round fell, and then pick it up after you reholster your gun and you hear the range command. Range is clear. All right, now that you're done shooting, it is time to score it. So let me get my app out that we're gonna score it on. This will most likely be done on an iPad or something similar. You get to walk through the stage with whoever's scoring it if you want. If not, you just don't. I don't know, just listen to your scores. Alpha Charlie, this is, there's an extra shot in here, but there's 3 Charlie, so there's 2 Charlie. This is 2 Charlie over here. That's 2 Alpha, 2 Alpha, Alpha Charlie, 2 Alpha, and there was 2 Alpha on that back target over there. All the steel is down. What time did I say? 15:41. Enter, review, and then it'll give you your hit factor. So if you're unfamiliar with the hit factor is points divided by time. So I think I'm just gonna shoot this one more time, just go a little bit faster, just to show the comparison between good-ish hits, they weren't good hits, but good-ish hits compared to just whatever and time, just to see the different hit factors. Your first time, you're not trying to go fast, you're just trying, like I said, to not get disqualified, but we're out here, I just wanna shoot a little more. I forgot to reload. All right, that was a 1284. Let's go score this one and we'll check the hit factor and then we'll see a little under 3 seconds faster. All right, so I scored that. I even forgot to reload running in there, but I don't think it held me up too much. First run was 15.41 seconds. It was 16 Alpha, 6 Charlie. For a total of however many points that is. I wrote it down somewhere. 16 Alpha, 6 Charlie, for a total of 98 points in 15.41 seconds. That gave me a 6.35 hit factor. So the second time around, we ran it in 12.84 seconds, which is almost a little more than 2.5 seconds faster. Had 12 Alpha, 8 Charlie, and 2 Delta, for a total of 84 points. Since it was more than 2.5 seconds faster, that gives us a hit factor of 6.69. So I actually won the stage with crappier hits on the second one by just going faster. If you didn't just shoot, if you're not on deck or you're not in the hole, which is third up, this is when you have to help reset the stage for whoever else shot. Some people have this fancy paster gun like me. Best thing I've ever bought. There'll be a link down in the description for it. Or it'll just be like a roll of these pasters, or some people just have a roll of brown tape. Don't take the entire roll with you. Pull it out, rip some off, paste up the target. Just wait till you're told that it's all scored. Or you know the person with the iPad walked past and scored it already, just so you don't have to worry about giving a reshoot. If you know how to score the targets, you could call them out, especially if it's a very easy hit to score. If it's something questionable, don't call it out. Call someone over to confirm it for you if you're not completely sure. So you just successfully shot your final stage at your first USPSA match and you did not get disqualified. Nice. So what do we do now? If your range needs a little help with stuff, this is where you help if you have some time. If you don't, it is what it is. If they don't need help, this is where you get to go home. Then you go check practicescore.com, check the fruits of your labor, see where you finished in the match. So from when I started shooting the competitions, I've been shooting them for about 1.5 years, 2 years. My whole goal, other than not getting disqualified, was not to finish dead last. And I don't think I ever did. I may have done it once or come close to it once. There was one stage, I was a little newer to shooting at the time, and I didn't really understand the holdovers on my gun yet. And there was a very tight no-shoot, and like I was saying earlier, no-shoots are no bueno, you don't want to hit those. But if you do hit it, you definitely want to make up a shot, because if you don't, it's a miss also, it's a no-shoot and a miss. So I shot, hit the no-shoot, so I was like, oh crap, I need to shoot again, make up that shot. Shot again, into the no shoot again, shot again, into the no shoot again. It was either 3 or 4 times. I zeroed out that stage completely just because of that. And that was not fun. And then I kind of vowed to myself to never do that ever again. And I don't think I have. I've come close to the bottom a couple times. I've had some matches where every single stage I've had a miss or a no shoot. Shit happens, get over it, just get out and shoot again. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna try to continue this video series of shooting USPSA because it's fun stuff and I think you should get out and compete. If you go out to just one match, I'm pretty sure you're doing better than like 90% of gun owners. So just get out and compete, makes you a better shooter. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. If you're a brand new shooter or you got a couple matches under your belt and it's just something you don't understand, leave your questions down below. I'll do my best to answer it. You can even hit me up on Instagram. If I don't know the answer, I'll find someone that doesn't know the answer so we can learn together. Just get out there and shoot. No one cares about how you shot. The only one that cares about that is yourself. So don't use that as a reason not to get out there and shoot. If you have any video suggestions that you want to see, leave those down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Get out there, sign up for a match, go shoot. Let's all make GM together. I forgot to reload.